As we know, a young Melody Pond regenerated during the finale of Day of the Moon, but what happened next? Well, I have a theory that may answer that question, and it involves Melody's parents, Amy and Rory. But first, let's do some maths. Amy and Rory were born in 1989. However, due to the events of The Angels Take Manhattan, Rory dies in 1997, aged 82, and Amy dies 5 years later, aged 87. So according to this new timeline, Amy and Rory are now born in 1915, which means they'd be 54 years old in 1969. Which brings us to the ending of Day of the Moon, when a young Melody regenerates.
Last time I did this, I ended up a toddler. In the middle of New York.
Wait a minute, didn't she say New York? Say, isn't that where Amy and Rory are trapped? And she became a toddler again? That means Melody's appearance would have regressed back by about 8 years. And the next time we see the flashback Melody in Let's Kill Hitler, she seems to have gotten back to her previous age before regenerating. But now here's a question that may or may not help my theory. Does River also have the same aging process as a Time Lord? If not, that means from 1969 to 1977, Amy and Rory could have actually been parents to Melody. But if that's the case, there are a couple of problems. Number 1. How did the child version of Mel's make her way from New York to Ledworth in 1977? Number 2. Where did she live if she didn't have a guardian? Number 3. We've seen the aging rate of Mel's as she went from child to adult at the same time as her parents. Which brings me on to my next theory, which makes a little bit more sense. Now, we don't actually know the rules to people being born out of space and time, so this theory isn't really based in fact, it's just speculation. So because Melody was conceived within the time vortex, maybe she has the ability to manipulate time so she can age at whatever rate she wishes, meaning she could spend a longer amount of time with Amy and Rory. Another possible side effect of being conceived within the time vortex may result in River having the ability to travel throughout time and space without an actual time machine. I know we've seen her using a vortex manipulator several times, and in the Husbands of River song she claims to steal the TARDIS whenever she has things that need doing. But if that was the case, how did she get to the TARDIS in the first place? Surely she must possess some form of time travelling ability. But that raises the question, if she can time travel, why does she need the TARDIS? Well, maybe she's actually linked to the TARDIS, seeing as that was her conception place, which means her inbuilt time travelling ability can only take her to the TARDIS, and once there she can continue her current journey. Now, whether or not you believe my theory, you've got to admit there is a very good chance that Amy and Rory did actually look after a young Melody back in 1969.